Hello and welcome to episode 61 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And Jeff, how we doing this week?
Good, I guess.
Yeah.
Another week.
Just another week.
Another week of trying to find jobs.
It's a struggle, man. Yeah. It's a struggle. They always tell you it's going to be a struggle, but you never really know.
Yeah.
But luckily we can supplement the pain of job searching with video games, which really all I've played this week is Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Probably not going to talk about that too much more until review time.
Yeah.
Unless things start really changing. I guess, update, I'm into chapter 2s and the game is
I'm about to start the chapter 2s. I spent a lot of time getting on the second jobs, figuring out who I would give the second jobs to, and then going on a shopping spree and trying to plan my budget.
Things are surprisingly expensive in Octopath.
Oh, yeah. At some point, at first I bought weapons like after each chapter for like the first like 2 or 3 or so. Then like, no, this isn't manageable.
No.
I can't sustain this. So I just waited until I got the second jobs and I started buying weapons because I needed them. I kind of like it. Yeah. Like, I feel like in so many games, money just starts to mean nothing because you always have so much of it and you can just buy everything you need. So it almost just seems like, all right, this is just a pointless step. Why don't you just give me the things because it's that easy? I kind of like that in this, you actually have to, like you said, you have to budget out. Like, do I go for armor right now or do I go for weapons? This weapon is really awesome, but this other character really needs a weapon right now, so I should probably spend money on them. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. It adds another dynamic to it, which I think is cool. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, so that's still going very strong. I think the chapter 2s so far, I mean, I've only played 2 of them, but so far I think are better than chapter 1s. Mm-hmm. And the bosses have a lot of hit points. One thing I did before I did the chapter 2 just to get everyone's level kind of up. I went through those dungeons that were in the first areas.
I've done that too, yeah.
Took care of some of those bosses. So
yeah, I completely just missed a lot of those. I'd gone to some of them, but a lot of them I just
probably missed 1 or 2. But I just went back to the ones like I either already saw or like can look at the maps like, okay, there's one.
Yeah.
Also, I was lucky enough to find one of those cat burglar things.
I don't think I know what this is.
It's this. I'm having trouble thinking what the Final Fantasy equivalent might be off the top of my head. I guess people also know it's like the metal slime in Dragon Quest, where you find it, or is it the King Slime? Well, whatever. You kill it, you get a bunch of experience and money. Yeah,
I have.
It's like looks like a little cat burglar.
I have seen that. It usually runs away.
I was able to kill it in one hit one time
must be because there were several times I kind of was just grinding and watching. Don't hate me, there's so many things I need to be watching, but I'm rewatching Cowboy Bebop.
What is wrong with you?
I know. But I was doing that while grinding an Octopath Traveler, and I would kill something, and then suddenly everyone's levels are jumping up 1,000 times. I'm like, what the hell happened? That must be it. Yeah. I'm guessing. I must have just killed that.
All my characters jumped a few levels when I did that.
Because it almost, it startled me. I just finished this match, and then suddenly it's bloom, bloom, bloom. I'm like, jeez.
Nintendo, don't pay my account. I need to cheat, I swear.
It's like my Switch is just having a seizure. It's insane. Yeah, I don't know. The game still hasn't hooked into me so much, so I
got all my characters about the same level. Well, obviously, other than Primrose, who's a good chunk higher.
The game is pretty grindy, which I could see turning people away just at times, I feel like, to get to the next one. But for the most part, it feels like even the underleveled ones, I'll just take one underleveled person into a higher level area, and they catch up pretty quickly. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's awesome for little spurts to play in.
Apparently an easy thing to do. Whether you do this or not or whatever. If you somehow are lucky enough to find a cat and you have Primrose or a Dancer in there, use that 25 SP game or move, the graceful thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get it, it does a random effect. One of them is 100 times experience.
Jeez. You just get that once and then
you kill the cat and then grinding's done.
Wow. Jeez.
I mean, even without the cat.
That move, that move is annoying. Like, if you don't, this move basically, it just does anything. It's very random. And almost every time I've accidentally pressed it because I just get in such a habit of going to the, whatever does the dark move that attacks everyone. That's what I'm going for. But a lot of times I'll accidentally hit the, random move. And then it's they'll heal all the enemies for 3,000 HP. And I'm like, cool, great, wonderful.
I'd only do that during grinding.
Yeah, I've never meant to do that move, and it's almost never been good. But
I got 10 times experience one time.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, but it was very early on, so it's kind of like, eh. Oh yeah, I found one of those shrines for like hidden job places.
Yeah.
It's different than the other ones. You don't just go in and get it. It's an actual
like
dungeon.
You can get like a completely separate job. I didn't even know.
There are 4 special hidden jobs that are more powerful than the other ones. Like one of them is a sorcerer, and I looked it up because I was just curious what these things did. It has the spells for every element, and all of them are attacking 3 times.
Holy crap! So 3 times?
3 times
Jeez.
for every element.
Good lord.
And then there's like a warrior one where I think by the sounds of the special move list, you can equip every weapon to that person.
So they just become gods.
Yeah, and then there's another one, I think, Rune Master, where you can equip elements to your regular weapon attacks.
Oh, wow. So, wait, do you have to do something special to get those?
You gotta find the temples, like the regular one.
Yeah.
And it's... The one I found is a level 50 dungeon. It's not you just go in and you get the skill. You got to go through the dungeon. I mean, obviously, I'm below that level.
It sounds like it should be, because that sounds like very powerful.
I happen to find it's like, ooh, if I can get this, like, oh no, it's okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, Dr. Pat.
Just put on some repels, Jeff, and just sprint to the back of it. I wonder if someone like you just do. Ophelia has some equip skill where you can it ups your chance of fleeing battles. Yeah. I wonder if you could just run in there and choose your way to the back of it.
Well, then you imagine you had to fight a boss. Then you get wrecked.
Yeah, maybe.
I imagine the boss.
Probably. I doubt they would. I'm sure they would know that people would be trying to choose it.
Yeah.
So, Octopath Traveler, still real good. Do you have any other games, or do we need to just move straight into the news, Jeffrey?
I don't have any games.
We have a pretty juicy news item for number 1. So, how about that news jingle, Jeff?
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Okay, for this thing, this comes from Brad Sands from Farot, which is, I guess, a very good, I think it's supposed to be a very good, Microsoft fan site.
Okay.
Or that type of thing. Maybe fan site's the wrong word for it, but apparently this is a good source.
I've heard people say that this guy's very trustworthy with, previous rumors he said,
And the article is pretty long, so I shortened it greatly with just mainly the bullet points. Yeah. So we'll talk about. Okay, first thing. Right now, it seems Microsoft is planning 2 consoles.
2, Jeff?
Yep. One is a traditional console.
Traditional set-top box sounds like a normal thing we'd have, but the news is in the other one, for sure.
The second is a streaming box that is designed to work with the company's upcoming game streaming platform, apparently codenamed Scarlet Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole thing, we found out when, at E3 when they announced this, that this code name for this is Scarlet.
Scarlet, right.
Yeah. The Cloud console will have a limited amount of compute locally for specific tasks like controller input, image processing, and importantly, collision detection. The downside of this is that since more hardware is needed locally, it will raise the price of the streaming box, but it will still cost significantly less than what we are accustomed to paying for a new generation console, which should help expand the platform's reach. Let's see, going on. Brad points out this is important because Microsoft doesn't make much money on hardware sales. They do on things like Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass, and game sales. So apparently the plan here is selling this kind of stuff so people will buy their services.
Which is a pretty normal gaming strategy.
Yep. Yeah. The portion of the game that runs locally, some have referred to it as slice or splice, means that the game is running in 2 locations at the same time and utilizes Microsoft Cloud to stitch it all together. This makes streaming the game's platform available globally, but this also likely means that it can run on any type of device. Of course, Microsoft would love you to buy their hardware, but the company's end goal is that you can access Xbox from any device, anywhere, and Scarlet Cloud is looking to deliver on this idea. All Scarlet games will run on all Scarlet devices. The cloud version of Scarlet is further along in the development cycle compared to the regular console, and both are, according to what's his name, Brad, scheduled for 2020
release,
which is in the
that falls in line. So Jeff, a lot of things. Lots of things. This is one of those. It's hard to completely nail down an opinion on this. This feels a lot like kind of the continuation or potentially full realization of kind of what Xbox was saying at the start of the Xbox One generation.
He goes in and saying then
in the article. Yeah.
Yeah, but...
And they got laughed out of the room for that at the time with the just always online stuff, everything like that. This... Because, and you know, we've heard, like, for years before Xbox One and PS4, we heard people saying, like, oh, streaming's going to be the future, streaming games going to be the future, and just so far that has just not been the case. Like, PlayStation Now has tried it, didn't work very well, and didn't catch on and everything.
Like, Game Pass is a step up from that, but it's not really streaming. You download the game.
It's not streaming the game and everything, but it doesn't surprise me that we're heading that way, but it's still... My gut reaction is to say we're not there yet. My gut reaction is to still say, I mean, I live in a pretty populated area here, whatever, and our internet is still not great. Like, we struggle. My parents struggle, like, streaming Dexter on Netflix or whatever it is. I don't know if Dexter, whatever, wherever Dexter's on. And then, like, whenever you're talking about playing a game over streaming. That, like, any sort of lag you get affects you so much more than just, like, watching a TV show or something. And it worries me to hear just a all streaming console like this, something you pay like $200 for or something, and then you're having, like, lag in your game or you're having constant problems. And I worry that we're still not there yet.
Yeah, Brad mentioned in this article that Microsoft believes they found the thing, they found the solution for that. We'll have to wait and see, and even if any of this stuff is true to begin with. But I think what makes this different than the beginning of this generation, the online-only thing, is they are like, hey, or at least based on these rumors, they're doing two different boxes. One is going to be the streaming thing, and it'll be significantly cheaper, and if you just want your normal gaming box, that's a thing still too for what you assume the normal price.
Right, but like I definitely like I'm still like kind of like figuring out where I fall, but like that does kind of strike me almost as the streaming box is where they're wanting to be going, but the set-top box is just do not laugh us out of the room again. Like here, like we're trying to appease you and appease this, but I'm worried that those don't really. Like, those are going to be weird next to each other. Yeah. It's going to be weird. Like, how do you message to the person buying the cheaper streaming box who potentially has problems or whatever? How do you message to them that they're not missing out from not buying the set-top box where you can download things and everything? It's just, like, it's going to feel like a lesser experience or something, potentially. Yeah. And that's weird messaging. Like, it's hard enough for me to completely understand what this is going to look like with this one console that's completely like a normal console that who knows if it'll even be that much better. And then the streaming thing, other people who are gaming adjacent are not going to understand this at all, or unless it's messaged really well.
Yeah. I guess one simple way that it's hard to even message this to sound good is the fact that the streaming thing will probably be a lesser experience overall because based on what this says and just based on common sense, whatever streaming program is going to be used on the box, you'll be able to do on the regular Scarlet.
Right.
The whole thing is that will be why people may look at the Scarlet streaming thing or whatever is that it is going to be cheaper. But I predict it's going to be at least like half the price at most.
I feel like in order for it to be worth it, it has to be like really cheap. And if it's even comparable to the set top box, I'm getting the more expensive, the downloading one. If it's at all comparable. I mean, obviously, I'm in a little more of a like luxury perspective, but like I really think like these need to be messaged to different audiences, or I don't know if it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I think what may also help is the streaming box is farther along. I wonder if it's smart, depending on game-wise, to release that first. Release the streaming box in, like, let's say September-ish, and release the regular one and the normal, like, I don't know, what is it, November? Release that in November or something like that. Well, give them a couple month head start.
I wonder, I mean, this didn't, I don't think they said anything one way or the other. I'm wondering if, like, the other box will be able to stream as well. It's just like the like normal console will be able to do everything. And
I imagine it will.
I imagine it will
because Brad mentioned. Let me see if I can get wording like Let's see. Yeah, this makes the streaming the game platform available globally, but this also likely means that it can run on any type of device.
Yeah.
So, like for example, whatever the Scarlet streaming service is, we could based on this, we could potentially run it on our PCs.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I would expect. Yeah, I'd expect that.
So I imagine that this whatever service you can do the stream, you'll be able to do it on the regular Xbox. The reason why the regular Scarlet will be more attractive to people is the fact that, hey, you can buy physical, you can download and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see this going a number of ways. Like, I mean, I could see this being a disaster if it's, all this streaming all the time and a lot of people buy it and they're having constant problems. And if your inputs on your controller or whatever are lagging because of the stream, that's gonna be a problem. And especially, like, you think fighting game people are gonna play this game on streaming, it's never gonna happen. So I could see a future where it's bad, but if they really have cracked the code and it's reliable for at least, to a baseline level and everything, that paired with potential Game Pass type deal, where we really do see the full realization of Netflix for gaming, where it's you subscribe to Scarlet, you pay a monthly rate, and you're legitimately getting like all the games, not just like a few Xbox titles. You're getting Assassin's Creed, all these other things on a monthly basis. That could be something that makes PlayStation look like a bad deal. It's like, I'm still paying $60 for all these or whatever. That's also a future I could see with this. Yeah. It's too early to tell, and honestly, it's one of those things until we see it in action, until we hear people talk.
Yeah, and the important thing to remember this, like when we're talking about, well, just anything about this, is if this is all true, this thing won't even be out for another 2 years. We won't hear about this till Italy at the earliest, you imagine.
That's what I would
Even then, it'll just be the baseline information. We may not even, we could hear about the regular Scarlet box in Italy and not even hear about the streaming thing until the next Italy 2 years.
I mean, I could even see it being like Xbox own event or something that they do later on, like after E3, if it's, it probably wouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're assuming probably fall 2020 or something. Yeah, if they're both at the same time, they might be staggered, like you said. It's interesting. I feel like Xbox had to do something like, if Xbox just came out and it was just like, it's the next Xbox with just a little bit better power or whatever, it'd be like, okay, you already did this with X. Are people really going to go from PS4 to X? They need something innovative, so they need to take a shot, and that shot might miss, and that could be very bad, but they had to do something. Yeah. And this could be the future, or it could be something that we all look back at.
This is the future at some point. It is. It's just a matter of when. But again, important thing is I completely agree with you that as things are right now, it's probably want to work well for a lot of people.
Not for me. I mean, not for me.
But 2 years is a long time in the age of technology.
It is. And I know they're smart enough to where they're not only looking at people in San Francisco and New York who have good internet. They're smart enough to know that this is a worldwide problem, and they saw the repercussions of not caring enough about that in 2013. Like, they're not stupid.
Yeah, again, they're not, at least based on this, it looks like they're not. Online only is, hey, you have this option if you want it, and it can work for you. So.
Right. And it might be one of those things where the home Scar. I would be very interested to see how they sell, like, different, like, from one to the other. My knee-jerk reaction would be to, like, I don't want to deal with the streaming thing. I want to download my games and have the things there.
I mean, that's what I would go for.
But it might, again, if it's cheap enough, that might be attracting other people. Like, it needs to just be so easy to where it's like, you stream Netflix, stream that, and that might attract other people in there. And it's also interesting, it's like, we might, if this gets popular enough and the streaming Scarlet thing takes off enough, gaming might get to the point where it's like, it's all streaming. You don't really own anything. You just kind of stream everything, which sounds bad to us, but also, I think it was a Game Scoop that I just listened to. Damon Hatfield brought it up. it is very interesting for shows, for movies, for music, all that stuff. We're perfectly fine with not owning any of that anymore. We just do streaming services, Spotify, Netflix, all these other things. But gaming is kind of the one last holdout where we like, you know, hold on to wanting to own everything like that. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know where that comes from, and it might be going away, but
it might. We'll have to see.
We will have to see. Like so many things in here, but it's interesting. I'm glad we're finally hearing some things about it, and I really want to know how that turns out. Yeah. The fact that Xbox is putting their stock in this, potentially, might not be true, does, you know, give it some credence. I think, you know, like I think that the Xbox is smart enough to do what's going to work. You know, like whatever they put out is going to work. And if they really think that they have the solution for this finally, then cool.
Yep. Cool. Have to wait and see. We'll have to wait like 2 years, but we'll see. Next story comes from Nick Santangelo from IGN. There's some more fallout from the ongoing loot box debate. Turn 10 Studios this past week announced that it will be removing prize crates, its version of free loot boxes, from Forza Motorsport 7, most likely during the coming winter. Additionally, Turn 10 will not be bringing pay tokens, which were included in previous Forza games, to either Forza Motorsport 7 or October's Forza Horizon 4. There's too many Forza games, man. Quote, while we've never charged money for prize crates in Forza Motorsport 7, their presence in the game has continued to be a source of controversy, studio head Alan Hartman explained. The overwhelming feedback has been that this system feels out of place in the game. After careful consideration, we have decided to completely remove prize crates from Forza Motorsport 7, end quote. As to why it's going to take so long to remove the crates from Forza Motorsport 7, Hartman wrote that doing so is complicated owing to the need to keep providing players with access to driver gear, mods, and badges, but his studio isn't going to wait around for 5 months until taking action towards removing the crates. So, kind of interesting thing.
Yeah, it is interesting. Obviously, we're not Forza players, and we've not had experience with this game, so I can't really speak to they don't feel right in this game or something like that. But this is obviously something we've seen a lot recently. The fact that they weren't charging money for them makes me feel like, I mean, my knee-jerk reaction makes me feel like, then what's the big deal? But it does really kind of seem like loot boxes in any way, shape, or form is kind of toxic at this point. That companies want to get away from them. I don't know. Like, it doesn't really bother me. Like, when playing Overwatch has loot boxes all over the place. That's like probably the game with loot boxes in the forefront the most that I play. I can't think of really any other game that I play. I don't really play many online multiplayer games. So
yeah, I think that's the problem. I think that's just a part of the reason our opinions are the way they are with these things, because Overwatch is mainly the only game.
Yeah, and take everything with a grain of salt. We're obviously not like professionals with this. We do not experience this very much, but it never bothers me there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of exciting opening up the thing, whatever, to get the skins, and more than half the time you get nothing. But it's like, whatever. You know, I'm not paying money for it. There are options there.
I guess particularly the only thing I say about Overwatch, and correct me if I'm just remembering wrong or they changed it, but I kind of wish if you're gonna do the whole you pay money to get stuff that you can you just buy coins?
No, you can't.
Okay, then I kind of wish maybe you could do that if you're going to put money in the loot box and try to get that stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously the best case scenario, is that I can just buy coins and go buy that skin that I want.
Yeah,
but they still want the whole. I mean, you make a lot more money off of people buying a bunch of loot boxes and doing the randomly generated stuff. And I mean, like, it's very obvious what they're doing. It's they're getting more money out of you or everything. But I also, and while that is very annoying, like, that is annoying that I can't do that, and it's annoying that they're doing these kind of gambling-esque ways of getting more money out of you, I also, in the same breath, understand games are expensive as hell to make now.
Yeah.
Overwatch, they've basically made probably 2.5 games at this point with all the extra content they've added on there. They've spent a lot of money into
They've
Overwatch.
added how many maps? They've added about
8 characters or something like that.
Yeah, about half the amount of characters they started with.
Yeah, and I've paid the $60 for them or whatever.
Yeah.
So I understand that these games need to supplement that cost somehow, and if they don't, I'm going to have to start paying $90 for games, and I would rather this than that. So I also understand that, and as long as it's not interfering with my actual game, as long as someone can't buy something and suddenly their Winston's way better,
Battlefront 2.
then honestly, if that gets them more money and it allows them to keep making amazing things without having to like make Overwatch 2, because I don't want that, I want to keep playing this.
Yeah.
Then
I don't think anyone wants to make Overwatch 2. I don't think that Blizzard wants to make Overwatch 2 if they're still making the money, because that's just a lot more work.
No, and it's the same thing here. I mean, like, we're all saying Overwatch, but this goes to so many different games where they have to supplement this cost somehow. And loot boxes are like the best way to do it right now, or this type of microtransaction type deal. And it doesn't bother me. If this sounds kind of weird because it's like loot boxes are annoying, and if they're not even making money off of it because they said they don't charge money for these, then it seems kind of weird for them to be in there. I guess just the randomly assigned rewards is just addicting in itself, so it just makes you keep playing the game anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. There might be more to this, like that we don't play Forza, so I guess if anyone's listening and there is more to this, let us know.
Yes, please.
We don't want to be completely ignorant when we're talking about this stuff.
We do not. We do not. That's why almost every time there's a loot box thing, I'm like, that's great. Let's talk about Overwatch, because that's the one thing I know when it comes to this.
And vague stuff about Fortnite and I guess PUBG or something.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, Darby. Speaking of controversy. This comes from Stephanie Fogel from Variety. No Man's Skies. Big 1.5 update is now live on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Called Next, the patch adds a large number of new features and quality of life improvements to the 2-year-old space survival game. The biggest addition is a full cooperative multiplayer mode. Previously, developer Hello Games added a limited co-op mode that allowed up to 16 players to explore a planet and use voice chat, but the players couldn't interact directly and were represented as glowing orbs. Now they can explore the universe of No Man's Sky together, fight pirates, build community bases, and more. Another key Next feature is a new community website called the Galactic Atlas. The site marks points of interest in the game's Euclid Galaxy, and it will grow in functionality and expand over time with player feedback, Hello Games said. The next update also adds unrestricted base building with hundreds of new components, a third-person camera perspective, new mission types, and character customization. Freighters, crafting, and the user interface have been reworked. The opening section of the game has been overhauled to introduce new story elements, and there are a number of graphical enhancements. And I've seen comparisons and stuff, and oh,
it's crazy. Yeah.
The 1.5 patch notes are extensive and cover more than 200 tweaks made to No Man's Sky's visuals, audio, UI, combat, planet generation, stability, and more. And here's a note from a separate story. There's been an issue with save data with this whole patch. I think that, if you had save data from the old versions of the game and you tried to do stuff with it, it would your save data would be there, but when you went into it, you started from the beginning.
Yeah.
Last I saw, the PC version I think was fixed, and I saw something Greg Miller retweeting from Sean Murray that the PS4 was looking to fix and Xbox later, but take that with a grain of salt. The same thing's true that happened, but if you have saved data,
be cautious. Be cautious.
Look it up to make sure it's fixed and everything, to be on the safe side.
Yeah, I know the console had, last I checked, had not completely been fixed. Yeah, it was taking longer. Yeah, I think it's not an exaggeration to say this is a new game at this point. Like, it's completely a new game.
It's pretty much they're doing what they promised, or kind of sound like they were promising in the beginning.
No, it is what they. I mean, like, there were so many, and I really wanted to talk about this because I'm definitely of like two minds of the fact that obviously if you're not familiar with No Man's Sky, in 2015 there was like this game was hyped beyond belief. Sony had it on their
like 2014 I think it started,
or 2013. I think it was announced in 2013. I think
it was a couple of years that it happened,
but it got to the point it was on PlayStation's E3 stage. It was Sean Murray was on Jimmy Fallon. Like, this
it might have been Stephen Colbert or both.
Or he might have been both.
No, I think I remember because on Kind of Funny Games Jail, I think they said someone and then they got corrected that Stephen Colbert. Okay. It could have been multiple.
Either way, it was one of those, if not more of those. Yeah. Anyway, this was like crazy how much this game was being hyped up, and I bought into it too. I think I was writing for the Daily Gamecock at the time, and I wrote a bunch of stuff about how like this might be the future of gaming or some crap like that.
People saying, like, I'll never play another game again.
Yeah.
Which, even if it does have type, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And all these promises, multiplayer, all these crazy things you're going to be able to do, comes out, game was like an okay for like just a meditative, very like empty, just exploring game, but it was nowhere near what was promised. Like there were a lot of just blatant things that Sean Murray went out and said that were not in the game and were not addressed whatsoever. Yeah. And that is a serious problem, serious problem. And I just assumed Hello Games was done. They were dead. Like never going to be able to like come out again because they were the laughing stock of the gaming industry. I mean, that's not hyperbolic at all. It was one of the like biggest failures.
All people talked about for a little bit.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest failures I've seen in this industry. And then now, like the fact that this team
was slowly building up.
This team went radio silent for 2 years. Yeah. Jeff, can you imagine working for 2 years when the entire world hates you? The entire world, like, you are just the brunt of every single joke. You have to go into work every day, not tell anyone about the amazing things that you're making, and everyone just hates you. I'm sure Hello Games could not hire people. Who's going to go work for Hello Games after all that? I'm sure it was at least very hard, and 2 full years you do that, and then now you come back out, and you're getting praise, like, praise up the wall for it and everything. And I'm on 2 minds. Number one, I don't want to completely hold them from their sins in the past. Yeah. The fact that they came out, they put in the work, and they made a game that apparently everyone loves now, and this is the game they always should have been.
Now this might be, I'm just, giving the benefit of the doubt and basing their memory. Yeah. To me, it could be just kind of giving the benefit of the doubt the whole thing of it. They didn't handle it the best. You can't deny. They could have handled that whole thing a lot better.
They handled it terribly, I would say. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Trying to word it a little more nicely, but I think at the beginning they tried to. I think they had the intention of doing all this. Then they just got overwhelmed.
Yes.
And Sean Murray done pretty good with speaking everything, but he always seemed like a kind of timid, shy guy.
Nervous. I mean, they were indie developers.
Yeah, exactly. I think they just got overwhelmed and things just happened. Again, they could have handled it so much better.
Yes, I mean, if you look at it from the human perspective, you put yourself in their shoes. I don't think it was ever malicious. I think they legitimately had every intention of doing those things. And they talked about what they were planning on doing, and that's what got hyped up. And if you're in his position and you're getting offered by Sony, by Stephen Colbert / Jimmy Fallon, any of these, are you going to turn it down? It's like, I'm sure it was hard. It was very hard to toe the line of what is possible and what we want to do and what people want and all these other things. I get that, and it was rough, and I'm sure there was a learning experience with that. And so, I want to let them have their redemption story. This is probably one of the biggest redemption stories I've ever seen.
Yeah, this game seems to be what they promised in the beginning.
Right. And I would not fault people for saying, no, I was burned on this game. I don't want to support developers being able to lie out their ass and then come out here. I understand that. I would not fault anyone for not even giving this a chance. I would not fault it because Hello Games made a horrible mistake.
Yeah. Now, for people who didn't have PlayStation getting on Xbox, keep in mind that it's a completely different thing than what was released 2 years ago. Because I've seen some people, not really saying this, but people think what's probably going to happen is it's released, and then a bunch of people are like, what were people complaining about? Come on. This is great. No, people keep that in mind if this is your first time playing.
Yeah, definitely keep that in mind. And it's weird. Like, I wonder, would this have been possible without all the money they got from releasing it originally? Like, could they have just never released it and then had this game come out 2 years later? Like, I wonder. Like,
part of me is like, no, because they obviously got some of that Sony marketing money.
Yeah.
But if it was going to take this long, since they're not a media molecule, they're not owned by Sony, so
probably would have been dropped eventually.
Now, yeah, in a way, this might in the long run help Hello Games because they got the marketing push from Sony. Then they released it. They got the money from the initial thing. Yes, they got the backlash. Yeah. But this is looking like that people will be turned around on this as a whole. And then they got the Microsoft marketing push.
Yeah.
2 years later to sell their old game.
I mean, I think somehow they're going to come out of this okay, which... Again, I could have seen myself in a different time just being like, no, they don't deserve it. But, they're human beings. They come out here. I will say the next Hello Games game, I'm gonna be skeptical, and I think everyone should have a healthy skepticism for all video game marketing. I mean, I don't think anyone. I think that was a cautionary tale for us as an industry too. Is maybe don't hype up these things that we don't know. Yeah. And it's interesting.
But I will say, it's No Man's Sky, now that it is what we were kind of hoping / thinking it was going to be, is tempting, because I looked on Best Buy, I was curious. Just so you know, not on Xbox as it just came out, but on Steam and PSN, it's on sale for 50% off.
Okay.
And I looked at the physical edition on Best Buy, and it's $20, so we could get it for $16 if we wanted to.
That's insane.
So if we wanted to do that just because... we can have fun with
this
it.
This game basically launched again.
But we can get it for less than $20.
It's tempting. Yeah, it's tempting. It's hard to... Is it weird? It's hard to get back in that headspace. Like, I was so hyped for No Man's Sky leading up to it, and it burned me so hard that I've seen all these people talking about this. I'm like, okay, good for them, but I count myself as, like, just out of it at this point. It's weird. It's hard for me to get back into No Man's Sky might be good. It's hard for me to get back in that headspace again, but maybe.
But Dari, all these changes, I think, again, less than $20.
It's a different game.
I think that'd be a fun streaming / game just us messing around with. I really think we should think about it.
I've heard people say that the multiplayer was like, they were glad to have it, but a lot of parts of it weren't that fun to play multiplayer. But I've heard the survival mode is actually where the multiplayer like shines the most. Cool. That's just what I've heard. Yeah. Okay, I think the survival mode's a lot harder. It's like, oh, we need to like get all these resources and put our resources together and do this. Yeah.
Good. You should think about it. Less than $20.
Think about it.
Yeah. Cool in general. But yeah, again, I think the Xbox version's $50 to start out with or something.
Yeah. But props to Hello Games.
Yeah.
Props to Hello Games. Keeping their word.
Yep. Let's see. Next thing. This comes from Nick Santangelo from IGN. Is this one indisputable fact about video games in 2018? It's this: Fortnite is doing really, really well.
You don't say.
Yeah. It's done so well, in fact, that Bloomberg now says developer Epic Games is worth between $5 and $8 billion. Yep.
Damn.
This is Epic Games itself. Although it's not known precisely how much Fortnite has fueled that valuation, it's clearly played a major role in it. But as Bloomberg pointed out, it is known that Chinese company Tencent Holdings purchased 40% of Epic in 2012 for $330 million, when the entire company is worth $825 million. That means Epic has gained up to $7 billion in value in about 6 years. According to Sensor Tower, Fortnite is estimated to earn an average of $2 million per day on mobile alone.
Fortnite is huge.
Yeah. Now, Dari, this is a discussion that could be a interesting main topic, and I don't know if this main topic you haven't told me what it is,
no,
but I just keep on thinking. You listen to the Kind of Funny Games Daily for this week, right? At least up.
Yeah.
Them bringing up Fortnite being Game of the Year.
Yeah, I thought about that. That could be a good. It's not for today. I mean, we could do it or whatever. We could see, but maybe another time. Maybe we collect our thoughts on it. But
I have my thoughts.
We probably stand on the same playing field. It's just like, I guess we'll have the conversation whenever you like. I've seen the argument so many times of like, it's. Like, it is the game of this year. Like, it came into its own this year or whatever and got popular this year, and that's their argument for why games like this should be considered.
But can we argue the same for Overwatch?
I mean, if you were gonna say
it's arguably bigger now than ever.
Overwatch has like an NFL style league that's making millions and millions of dollars. And if we were going by this logic, then Minecraft probably should have been Game of the Year for like 5 years straight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, at some point, it's like, what are we actually doing here?
And for that reason, that was the argument for PUBG last year, and now that came and went.
Yeah. Well, and just like, to me, that's not an interesting discussion. Because
I hate that. I think you might have been saying what I'm about to say. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, go for it.
That sort of argument is, it is the game of the year that's most talked about, but doesn't necessarily make it like the best game of the year.
Well, and if that is our criteria, we're saying like, what is the game, like what game are we going to remember from this year? Then all of our answers should be Fortnite. What's the point of having the discussion? Like, it's your personal game of the year.
And then it's like at that point that any game of the year from here on out is probably gonna be like a multiplayer game.
Yeah, and it was the same thing. Like people talked about like game of the show for E3. It's like, no, what was the game that we're gonna remember? What's everyone talking about?
I think it was like Tim Getty's argument. Like, but what's everyone talking about? It's Cyberpunk.
Everyone's answer should be the same. Then like which article got the most clicks? Boom, that's it. Like that's not an interesting. Like you can have that discussion.
I find people saying Cyberpunk because they saw that backdoor footage, which is fine, but I don't like that reasoning.
No, that's just such an uninteresting.
Yeah, it's like this is what everyone's talking about. Therefore, that's got to be my answer. That's boring.
It's very boring. Like, okay, you can have that, but also let's talk about the games that actually came out this year. And I understand that games are becoming, release dates are becoming such an arbitrary, dumb thing, because apparently Fortnite's still in early access. That means nothing. That means absolutely nothing.
This is the thing. I know Game of the Year whole thing is an arbitrary thing.
It's all dumb, but
I don't care.
It's still fun. I still love it. I love talking about it.
But the problem is with the whole Fortnite thing, it came out in early access last year. It got big this year, so we're going to talk about it this year. It technically should have been last year if we're going to go by that logic, still in early access. But what if it comes out next year? We're going to talk about next year too? Is it going to have technically 3 years of eligibility?
Perpetual, yeah.
I think with that kind of stuff, if it came in early access for a year, pretty much, you should just count it as kind of out, maybe, as far as that kind of stuff goes. I don't know.
It's
if
hard.
It's doing all that, and all, I don't know.
I mean, like, I do understand what people are saying when they're like, you're gonna, regardless of what anyone's game of the year is of 2018, the game of 2018 that we're going to remember 10 years from now, like we're gonna think about 2018 is Fortnite. Mm-hmm. I don't see anything else taking that conversation away. Like the fact that Fortnite got as big as it did this year is absolutely insane.
Counterpoint to that real quick. Going back to PUBG. That is the whole thing in hindsight. We could argue that we argued the same thing about PUBG being.
But PUBG never got to anywhere near as big as Fortnite has.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Fortnite can get much bigger. I think Fortnite got about as big as a video game can get. No. And it came from nothing.
I agree. That general argument was made for PUBG last year, and now people are already forgetting about it, only talking about
I get it, but now we look silly for that. Yeah. We might look silly for this, but PUBG was big.
That's what I'm saying. There's a possibility.
Like, I literally, when I went to eat, like I went for a lunch with a guy from the state this week or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, video games. What's with this Fortnite thing?" It's like everyone. Like
I thought we were saying. It's funny you said fork knife.
Fork knife.
What's with this fork knife, kid?
What is with this fork knife? Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, again, game of the year. It's dumb, but I stand by that it's fun. Yeah. It's dumb, but it's a conversation I like to have, and I like for it to be, let's look at, like, what is your favorite game? What do you think is the best game of this year that released?
Not the one that everyone played.
Yes. Yep. Well, that's our stance, at least. Let us know why we're wrong.
Yeah. Maybe if we're lucky, like, Will feels differently, we have a discussion.
That would be good.
Next thing, this comes from Tom Marks from IGN. Speaking of IGN, during the Comic-Con live show, Metal Gear Solid movie director Jordan Vogt-Roberts shared details on the plot of the now complete script. Quote, "We're not exactly adapting something verbatim as this game, but we're also not just going to throw it out in a crazy Dark Tower way that it completely disregards why fans love the thing." Vogt-Roberts said that Kojima even encouraged him to branch out, literally telling him, "Do what I do, betray your audience." While Vogt-Roberts said that's a very Kojima-san thing to say, he explained his own goals for adaptation, saying, "My goal is really to try and translate what the fans want and expect, and to really take the unwieldy, amazing, decade-spanning timeline and have a way to make part of that make sense as a film."
Betray them all.
Yep. Part of I put this in here is the fact that apparently this Metal Gear movie is far along. And part of me is like, kind of why? I haven't played the Metal Gear games, but I've been watching Team 4 Star stream it for the past year. They're going through all the games.
Oh, okay.
But part of me is like, I'm never really gonna play these games. I'll just at least know what these games are all about.
Jacob is just like shuddering at home.
He is. I'm sorry, Jacob, but there's only so much time and money. It makes you feel better. I played games while I was doing that. But I can't see how that Metal Gear Solid can translate to a movie. There's so much weird stuff in that.
That just would not work live action.
And part of me watching this, like, how's Metal Gear so popular here? Because it's anime as hell.
It always just seems like it's very, very off the wall.
It's anime, but it has soldiers in it and stuff, so I guess that makes it okay.
It doesn't look like an anime, but that doesn't stop it from being anime. Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like something that would transfer over. I really wish we did have Jacob on here to talk about that, because he would have more to say on it. But
how in the world are they going to use Psycho Mantis? You can't put that in the Player 2 slot. The controller in the Player 2 slot. Oh, yeah. You do that.
Man, they might get really meta with it.
They might get really meta. Also part of the reason I said this, I'm kind of happy just with any of these adaptations when the original creator seems to be behind it.
Giving their blessing, yeah.
That's always the good thing.
Like the Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Apparently the Naughty Dog people doesn't mean anything for a regular movie, but are okay with seem to have liked the Uncharted fanfield thing.
Seems like they gave it more of their blessing than they ever did the actual licensed official Uncharted film.
Can you blame them?
No, I know it all, but it's just kind of funny. Yeah.
Still need to watch that.
Still haven't watched it either. I'm really slacking on that. Yeah. I'm the one that actually played the Uncharted games. You haven't.
I know. Yeah. This comes from Adam Bankhurst from IGN. The Fallout 76 beta break-in early test application will begin in October, and Bethesda will be selecting people who have pre-ordered the game from a participating retailer. That is vague.
And lame.
Yeah. I kept on forgetting about this. Like, hey, you can try out Darby, and like, nope. Announced by community administrator Jurassica. Is that right? Okay.
That's a name.
But on Bethesda's Fallout 76 general discussion it's a forum, so it's just a name. Okay. She continued to say, "We'll start small and grow over time as we prepare for launch." Jurassica also confirmed that during the Fallout 76 panel at QuakeCon, we'll be answering some of your questions. Very important, Darby. Get your questions in now. The panel will take place on August 10th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll see Todd Howard and other Bethesda Game Studio developers dive deeper into the newest entry of the Fallout franchise.
I'm still on the default of not buying 76, and
that's the lamest thing about this pre-order thing.
Impressions and everything need to be sold on. Like, if there was ever a game that I wish the beta was open, it's this one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically, though, I feel like you might have heard. I vaguely remember hearing one of those things like you may be locked in for this if you pre-order it.
A lot of times from like retail, it's I would imagine you might be, and that's how they're like. Really, this game, like, I mean, let me know if you can think of any reason why not, but I feel like this game would serve so well to have like a 1-hour demo or something. I don't know how that would work with online servers, but just like let me play online for an hour and just see if I like this game, because I'm not sold, and I'm even skeptical to hear people say it's good because
the most likely the people that are going to be in are people who are all in or Fallout no matter what.
Right. That's
the pre-order only thing.
Yeah.
Your best hope is, as far as getting good impressions, is someone like Kind of Funny or Easy Eyes, or people who aren't all in getting like press codes or whatever. I guess I imagine that's going to be a thing. Yeah,
and I mean, pay attention to the people who are also skeptical about this. People who are not.
I think most of the people
like
I named are.
You're right. Yeah, they are.
Both groups are. So if they play it, that's
Yeah, and that's. Like, I am so morbidly curious to see how this game sells, because it's so hard to predict this. It's so weird.
Though right now, I mean, Red Dead comes out like 2 weeks before, but there's not really much in November that I can remember off the top of my head that go up against it. There's Hitman that week. That's not going to do
it. Positioned itself well, but just to still see Todd Howard and Pete Hines and everyone still just on full-on damage control. To try to be like, don't worry, it's Fallout, it's like whatever.
You're getting Elder Scrolls in 8 years.
That too. It's like, whatever. Like, there's so many asterisks on this. It's just, I still could see this being something. It's just like, oh, remember when Fallout tried to go online, do that? That was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing that we kind of keep on forgetting about. I mean, not only is this their first online thing, there's Elder Scrolls Online.
No. Yeah, so. You're right. Oh, and I mean, I could see this being very good, just not for me.
Yeah.
And I hope it's I hope it finds an audience for other people, and I hope I'm part of that audience. But we'll just have to see. But also, just I mean, I think it's part of like just growing up. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Fallout games. They're some of my favorite games of all time. I'm pretty sure at least one of them was in the top 10 when we did that before, however many episodes ago. But I'm not completely torn up about missing a Fallout game. I probably at one point would have been, like, leading up to Fallout 4, I was like so excited about it, because like me and Alex were talking about it so much. But there's just so many other series to play right now. Fallout, in a way, is starting to feel like, a series I used to play. Like, even if this was a normal Fallout, I don't know how excited I would be for it. And that feels weird for me to say, but I just
I guess the greatest bummer for a Fallout fan is if you really do, you love Fallout 4 and you're really into the single player game, but don't really care about this. Who knows when in the world you get a next Fallout game, if ever.
It's gonna be
I guess
it's obviously gonna be a while.
Let's go into this next story. Kind of goes into this. It comes from Keza McDonald from The Guardian. In 2010, Bethesda plugged the long gap between its own Fallout games by letting another developer, Obsidian, give the series a spin. The result was Fallout New Vegas, a game that used Bethesda technology but had a different style of writing and characterization, filling in more shades of gray in the characters' moral choices. According to Howard, this isn't something that Bethesda plans to do again. Quote, I wouldn't say never, but now that our company is so big, it's almost better to keep stuff internal. It becomes less likely, but I could never say never. I thought the Obsidian guys did a fabulous job.
Yeah, and this is like, I mean, not that anyone is like obligated to like let other people mess around with their franchises. Most people don't. So I'm not ever saying that like there's an expectation that they should do that. But I feel like in so many ways, whether it's having a press conference every year and not having all that much to say in E3 or this type of stuff, I still feel like Bethesda, as awesome as they are and as unique and cool as they are, they're always acting like they're bigger than they are. Yeah. They're always acting like they're this giant company like Ubisoft and Activision, all these other ones, when they're really not. They're bigger than most. They're bigger than most of these other.
They have Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and they have Doom and stuff.
And Arcane Studio, and they have Prey Team, Dishonored.
Yeah, but even though those aren't to the level as a lot of those games from those other studios like Ubisoft.
Right, and like basically they can do what they want, and no one would ever. I wouldn't expect them, but I don't think they're so big that licensing out like to Obsidian or someone else to have more games would hurt them. Because I don't think they can make games. They're not big enough to make games at the pace to do that anyway. Like previously, the fact that everyone always like touts Fallout 3 more than New Vegas, but a lot of people still like New Vegas. I like New Vegas a little bit better, but I like them about the same. But anyway, they're comparable at least. And had they not done that, the gap between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 would have been insane. Mm-hmm. So I think I would be stoked to have another developer either working on Elder Scrolls or Fallout just to give us more of it, because I don't think Bethesda can make it fast enough, and I don't blame them, but they're just not that big, and I think they want to be, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's disappointing, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Let's see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes.
Next story comes from Steve Ross from GameSpot. Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice has already gotten a fair bit of attention as a sleeper hit from 2017, and soon players will be able to experience it in a whole new way. Developer Ninja Theory is releasing a VR edition on Steam for Oculus Rift and HTC Vive on July 31st. Best of all, if you already own the game on Steam, or if you purchase it anytime in the future, you'll get the VR edition for free. The VR edition includes the full original game along with customizable comfort options and additional experimental game modes. According to an announcement in a development diary, the studio talks about how it addressed problems of camera movement and getting the frame rate properly smooth for VR. And just a note, I think it was a tweet, someone from Ninja Theory said it's not going to be on PSVR mainly because of the power of PSVR compared to the other ones, which makes sense.
It does.
I saw some people did like, is this because Microsoft bought them? No. It's because PSVR is significantly less powerful.
Which, I mean, honestly, either one would have made sense, but but yeah. It's disappointing.
Wish she was on there?
Yeah, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, hey, I might be able to play this. Jeff has Darby. Like, oh, no.
And I already had Hellblade, so it would have worked.
Oh, yeah, you can just... Yeah. Or that's just on Steam is what it said, wasn't it?
Oh, no. If it was on PSVR. No. I can't do this, but...
yeah. But, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Little thing. Just adding VR more games should do it.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen. Is it just like a mode, or is it like the whole game is playable in VR?
I don't know.
I honestly didn't see if it was like a separate thing. I imagine it's the whole game.
I imagine it.
Yeah.
More games should do it.
Yes.
Resident Evil 7 did it, and as far as big game goes, other than this, not many have done it.
Not many have done it.
Do it more. And that's just a quick little thing that I'm excited about. Astrobot Rescue Mission, a VR game, PSVR game. The release date has been announced for October 2nd. That's close enough to September in my eyes.
Another September game.
Close enough.
If you don't know, this is those little PlayStation robot dudes.
They're dope.
Yeah.
So
this is basically like there was a little mini game in a VR collection thing, and
it was free. Like the moment I plugged in my PSVR, that thing downloaded.
And this is that made into a full game.
Yeah, it's kind of like you remember the heist game from the VR Worlds thing that your sister played.
Mm-hmm.
They like how they made that a full game.
Yeah,
that's coming out at some point, which will be dope.
That's cool.
It's kind of like this. People like this so much they are like, let's make a whole game out of it. It looks awesome.
It looked like a lot of thought was put into it. You would just when I see those little PlayStation little robot dudes, I just immediately assume it's kind of like, oh, this is just kind of cheap.
Nope.
Like
they're about 30 levels apparently.
It looked pretty good.
And the thing that's in the playroom or whatever is like one of the first things in VR is like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So getting a whole game and that's awesome. It's a budget title. The trailer showed awesome and all kind of stuff. And the good news is that people who played it at E3 says it's really good.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm more excited about this game than the other VR games I've been talking about, like Tetris Trek and Transference or whatever.
Okay, at least you've already played some of
this. Yeah, I already played the demo pretty much.
Basically, is what it is.
And yeah,
and it's just a cool excuse for all of us to get around with the VR. And
yep.
If the price
is
more
right, like regular game. I think it's $40 for a physical edition.
Wish it was 30, but whatever.
Get about 30 if I get physical.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thanks, Best Buy.
Yep. Okay, next thing. This comes from Adam Bankhurst from IGN. Where Dragon Ball FighterZ for Nintendo Switch is released on September 28th. It will feature 3 new local multiplayer game modes that are currently not on any other platforms. 1v1 and 2v2 matches, as well as an offline 6-player party match mode, will be part of the Switch version and will shake up the traditional 3v3 match structure that FighterZ is known for. Also announced in the same tweet by Bandai Namco, an open beta has been announced Dragon Ball FighterZ on Nintendo Switch that is scheduled to start in August. And just in case it wasn't clear, we don't know if these other modes are coming to the...
I feel like they would have to.
I feel like they would.
I feel like this just serves as hey, the Switch has something cool.
Yeah, but I think
and it just like quietly goes to the other ones. But
that'd be weird if at least the 1v1 2v2 mode wasn't in there.
It would be super weird. I have to imagine,
and I figured they would have said exclusive already. But
I have to imagine it's just kind of a marketing move to add something because it's been out for months and it's just like drums up some hype for this one.
I kind of want to do this because I kind of hate when I'm playing FighterZ as much. I know it's partly because I just kick your asses at it. It's the one game I do it at, and you guys are like, nah.
We cannot even get close. So you're the champion, Jeff.
But now we do 6 players, and you guys can join my team.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yep, exactly. That could be more. That could be fun. They talked about that. I think that's an online mode. So this was just putting it on local. I kind of wanted that in the beginning, so that'd just be kind of fun.
So it's just like we sub in, and it's just like
we each
I'm in there.
3 people on each side. We each pick our character.
Well, now me and Alex would just make you lose, but
yeah. I mean, we could split up between like us and us three, like Olivia.
We're getting killed and like, throw Jeff, you go back in.
I'm Nappa.
I'd be interested to see how you do against online players. Are we just that bad, or are you actually good at this game?
Oh, you're just that bad.
I have a feeling we're just that bad.
Trust me, you're just that bad. But I'm probably gonna try out the Dragon Ball, the open beta on the Switch, just to see how it is. Because why not?
Why not?
See an idea how good it is. Because
why not?
It sounds like good. Okay, and next thing, just rotating to end the news segment. Those rotating things, PlayStation Plus versus Game of Gold, but we don't have the PlayStation Plus.
So I think Games with Gold is going to win.
Well, wait, never mind. We've been adding
new challenger.
Yeah, Games for Gold versus Twitch Prime games. PS Plus, I guess we'll add in whenever it's announced, I guess next week. We also didn't get NPDs yet, which is weird. We usually get it. We would have got them last week.
Come on, man. Get on it.
I hope I didn't miss it. I don't think I did. The Xbox Gamer Gold games are Forza Horizon 2 for the Xbox One, For Honor for the Xbox One,
Dope.
Dead Space 3 for the Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Disney Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two.
Good month, man.
Xbox 360, Xbox One.
Yeah. Good month.
Twitch Prime games, Anti-Hero, Death Squared. I'm excited for that one. That'd be fun. Jotun Valhalla Edition, SeaWorld Dig. So now we have both.
Everyone says they're very good.
Yep.
Or at least they say 2 is good. I don't know if they say 1 is good.
1 is also good, from what I heard. I think I heard 2's better, though, but...
Yeah.
Hey, now we have both.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing a while ago. And a bundle that features Wizardry 6, 7, and 8.
There you go. All you wizards out there.
Yep. So, good months for those. Let's see how PlayStation does.
Xbox has the lead for me right now.
Yeah.
We'll see how PlayStation does. All right, Jeffrey, is it game time?
It is game time. Okay, Darby. We're bringing back an oldie.
All right.
We did this 20 weeks ago, 20 podcasts ago.
Did you count?
No. Under my game, I keep all my games on one thing, and I label each episode.
Okay.
So I know, when we did it. Everything. Okay. So.
Peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. This game, and there's really no name from it. I'm going to give you a game series, and then there are 3 games from those game series, and you're going to tell me which one has the best Metacritic score.
Okay.
And there's no rhyme or reason for the order I put them in. It's by release date.
Okay.
And I'm just using the top one for each game.
Okay.
Each top version.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1, Resident Evil. Got A, Resident Evil 1. B, Resident Evil 2. C, Resident Evil 4.
Wait, what do you mean by top version that you're using? Like if
it
was re-released or something? Is that what you mean? Yeah.
I think I say if it's like the re-release one.
Oh, yeah.
One, and it's just like, there's a like PS3 version, Xbox 360 version, just the best one out of those.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Can you repeat them again?
Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4.
All right. I mean, all these nerds out there would make me think it's 2. I don't know much about Resident Evil, but they would make me think that. But then there's all the nostalgia for 1, and people like 4 a lot. So I basically just made the case for all of them. All right, I'm gonna channel Huber. Is it 2?
Wrong.
Is it 4?
Yep, it's 4.
It's 4.
The Resident Evil 1's 91. It's for, I think that was for the original one and remakes, both 91.
Okay. So these are all high.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 is 89.
Ah.
It's actually the lowest. Resident Evil 4, 94.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil 4 is one of those that's like considered one of the top games of all time material.
Yeah, I think just there are people who prefer the older school, old school thing, but that 4 is good for what it is. Yeah.
Tales games, Darby.
Okay. I don't think I'm gonna know this.
A, Tales of Symphonia.
Okay.
B, Tales of Vesperia. C, Tales of Berseria.
I feel like so many times the game that gets talked about the most is not the one that's the highest on Metacritic a lot of times. Because Vesperia is the obvious, the one that's talked about the most, but then Symphonia is like the classic one.
Oh yeah, and just to make this clear, I'm not tricking you by putting a lower one. Every choice is the top 3 for the series.
Oh yeah. It's either Vesperia or Symphonia. I'm going with Symphonia.
Correct.
Hey.
You're not going to like what I'm about to say. Okay. Symphonia, 86.
Okay.
Berseria, 80. Vesperia, 79.
What is wrong with you people? To be fair, we have not played a whole lot of Berseria, but still.
I think most people agree that Vesperia is better.
I don't think these Metacritic, they give you like a ballpark, but comparing them is kind of a fool's game.
Yeah. Next thing. Series we talked about earlier in the news, Fallout. Fallout 1, Fallout 3, Fallout 4.
Because again, I don't care what you people say, the original Fallouts are not great. Anyway. So Fallout 1, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Again, the obvious one is 3, but it's probably 1. Yeah, man, I'm going 1.
Wrong. It was 3.
It was 3. Okay.
Fallout 1, 89. Fallout 3, 93.
It's high.
Fallout 4, 88.
I agree with that. I just assume that...
Yeah. I think New Vegas was right under that.
Okay.
It might have been tied with 4, but I can't remember. Halo. A, Halo Combat Evolved. B, Halo 2. C, Halo 3.
It's hard. I mean, important. This is not factoring in Master Chief Collection at all, is it?
No, I did not use Master Chief Collection at all.
Okay, because everyone hated that. So
no, Master Chief Collection is its own thing.
Okay, just making sure.
These are the original releases for these games. No tricks, Darby. Or at least no intentional tricks.
I'm going either 2 or 1, but it's probably 3. Halo 2.
Wrong. It's 1. Halo Combat Evolved 97, Halo 2 95, Halo 3 94.
Wow.
So, well, I think it was like God of War last time. They went down slightly each time. So to win this, you gotta get the rest of them right, Darby.
It's not happening.
It could happen, Darby. I actually think this is possible. I'm not just saying that.
Okay.
Okay, next one, Fable.
Okay.
Fable 1.
Okay.
Fable 2. Fable 3.
Fable 2.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Fable 1, 85. Fable 2, 89. Fable 3, 80.
I knew it wasn't Fable 3. That was the obvious one that was not.
Yeah. Next one, Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
A, Mortal Kombat Deception.
I don't know these enough. I forget what is what, but.
B, Mortal Kombat 9 Complete Edition. Or C, Mortal Kombat X. X gonna give it to you.
Jeff.
It's one of those cases where the later ones were actually the most well received.
Yeah.
Or at least among them.
Which one is Deception? Like, when did that come out?
Mid 2000s.
Okay. I'm between 9 and X. I'm gonna go X.
Wrong.
Is it 9?
It's 9. Deception 81. 9 88.
Okay.
X 86.
X is a better game. 9's good, but X is better.
I think what helps with 9, I think default 9 was the same as X. But I think 9 whether do like a surprise.
Yeah.
Or just 9 in general, the whole thing ain't coming back in.
Yeah. I should have known, but X is the better game.
Now, next final one, BioShock.
It's gonna be 1, but list them.
BioShock 1, BioShock 2, BioShock Infinite.
BioShock 1.
Correct.
That's easy. Easy as hell.
Yep.
What are the numbers for that?
BioShock 96, BioShock 2 88, BioShock Infinite 94. So it was close.
I'm surprised. Infinite's high. I like it.
Infinite's one of those things where it
in
reviewed
hindsight, a lot of people
it reviewed higher than the public opinion. It ended up being shortly after, and especially now.
Yeah. Okay. Main topic. I actually forgot the things in my room, so you vamp for a second. I have something.
I gotta quickly fill air. Hi. Watch our Pokemon Nuzlocke. They're making me do things against my will, not letting me eat or sleep, but just making me grind. It's awful. Get help.
Are you complaining about grinding?
Yes.
Okay.
At least we have an excuse to stream.
Jeff, I just wanted to do the desire index, so I found a way to do it. All right.
Oh boy.
If you guys know, if you guys follow Easy Allies, I'm basically kind of stealing something from them, but I think we're small enough. I don't think we're taking any viewers from them.
That's what makes me feel better about.
Yeah, like if we were bigger or whatever. And I'm trying to find an interesting way to do it. So if you watch Easy Allies, they do this thing called the Desire Index. That's been a lot of fun, where they basically just have like a bunch of games coming out, and they're trying to like slot where they feel about it, and they backstab each other, and it's all great. We don't have
a trail at the end of last week.
Oh, it's so great.
I gotta see how that happens.
But we don't have a lot of people, so I think a collective one doesn't work as well. But I want to directly point at Jeff, and I want to make him slot all these games. I even have like lists so he can just like put them down in the order. And I want him to slot where his desire is for these games, and he has to make the tough decisions of what is above what. Like what game is he most desiring, and what game is he least.
Okay.
And I didn't want you to think about it ahead of time. I wanted it to be just spur of the moment, and I want your deliberation on camera.
Okay.
So I have a bunch of games here.
Okay.
I'm gonna like name them out as I'm putting them down, and I just made this so that you could like visibly see it. Okay. Are you ready, Jeff?
Let's do this.
All right. First is Death Stranding.
Okay.
Then we have No More Heroes, The Travis Strikes Back. That one. Whatever.
I do like No More Heroes.
Yep. Okay. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Kingdom Hearts 3.
1.
I assume. Tales of Vesperia. The Last of Us Part 2. Spider-Man.
I do like Spider-Man.
Valkyria Chronicles 4. Life is Strange Season 2. Smash Bros. Ultimate. And Dragon Quest 11.
Dang it.
All right, Jeff.
You even put crap on there to make it easy.
No, I specifically was trying to make this just the games that you're interested in there. Like, I didn't want to put Red Dead or anything that I knew you weren't. This is just about you, Jeff. This is your desire index. I want it to be tough decisions.
Okay.
And yes, I did reuse cards that we used from some other game we did. Those are all...
Oh, yeah. When you were first, I saw your name, I was like, what's that about?
Yeah. I couldn't find it.
Okay.
All right, Jeff. So those are the games, and Jeff's going to deliberate about them. This might take a while, or this might take a short amount of time. I don't really know. I just thought it'd be fun.
Okay, so Kingdom Hearts #1. It's been pretty much #1 since it was really announced, maybe other than Breath of the Wild, Odyssey slipping in ahead of those.
Yeah. The fact that it's been talked about almost longer than, not almost, longer than Zelda and Mario.
Yeah. Well, definitely Mario, because that was released within like 10 months.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
So,
all right, so we have a #1. Nailed it.
Since I'm just kind of going... Okay, let's see.
I want some tough decisions.
Okay. I know what my bottom two are. I'm just not completely sure the order. Death Stranding and No More Heroes.
Okay. Yeah, I assume Death Stranding would be near the bottom.
I'm probably going to do is make this the top and then just kind of just go like this.
That works. So yeah, you do have a shorter amount of space than I factored in.
On the one hand, for Death Stranding is... As I mentioned before, I had not personally played the Metal Gear games. Right. I've watched them. I enjoy watching people play them.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I played 4 because it's pretty much a movie. With that, so I don't have the deep love of Kojima. Right. I respect the hell out of the man.
Yes.
So I'm very interested in Death Stranding.
That's more of just interest, but you don't have the like driving.
Yeah. On the other hand, No More Heroes, I love the franchise. Cedar 51 is also a man. I respect, right? But it is just a smaller, more quote-unquote indie title.
It's not like a
full-on No More Heroes.
Right. So that is a deliberation there to understand that. What do you desire most, Jeff? Which of these games do you have the biggest desire for?
Do I have the biggest desire for? I'm going to put Death Stranding at the bottom, which will probably pain some people.
I'm sure
but
it will.
Again, don't have the complete love people have for Kojima, and I wasn't as enthralled by the E3 showing as a lot of people.
I'm here for you, man. I mean, like, if you potentially, I guess, if we have an open main topic, you can turn this back around on me later. It would be very low on mine too.
Yeah, and yeah, it's still one of the things we need to know more. The No More Heroes, again, I like the No More Heroes franchise. I like what I've seen of it. We've mainly only seen gameplay for one world, and it sounds like they're going to be different for each one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting, and it gives me hope that, I mean, Suda said in an interview with the sales for this will determine if we get another No More Heroes thing, but just No More Heroes in general is kind of
a little frightening, but
yeah. So,
and also I feel like you haven't seen enough recently to have a desire, like that much of a desire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to speak for your desires.
Well, I mean, the part of it is also you're just putting about all the games I really want.
Yes, that is also the other part of it. Like, I think it's safe to say all of these games you are wanting to play. Really?
Yeah. So you put about 11 games in here? Yeah.
I didn't count.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, next I'm just going to put here Tales of Vesperia. As Tales of Vesperia, one of my favorites. All that kind of yada yada yada. But it is a remaster.
It is a remaster.
It does have new story content, new party members, so it has that added to it, and that's why it is definitely above these two.
But Jeff, part of you desires that you're playing with me. That makes it completely different.
That is true.
I mean, it's me.
Yeah. But Darby, all these other games. Okay, next. Let's see. I told you I did that desire index thing for them. I kind of made based on the games they had, but I'm not looking that up.
Nope. This is in the moment, Jeff. That's why I didn't want to tell you, because I wanted it to be what you feel right now.
Remember Life is Strange Season 2. Next, because I guess we don't know too much about it. We don't know the connections to Season 1, how exactly that's going to tie in. We know we're not playing as the same characters or anything as previous Life is Strange games. We haven't played Captain Spirit yet, which we just need to do that already, Darby.
I know.
Especially since we have trouble making a main topic. That's just an easy main topic.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Next week's not going to have no coming up vacation. Gone most of the week, so
what?
I'm going to be gone most of next week. I'll be here for the podcast to be able to get it together, but probably not enough time to play it. So you don't have to rush and do that. Next week should probably definitely do it.
Yes, we probably.
But still very excited for this game.
Life is Strange has the ability to move up. We just don't know enough.
Yes.
Part of that mystery makes me desire it, but
yeah.
See how it goes.
Again, Darby, these games that you're putting in front of me.
No, it's torture, man. So right now, just as he deliberates, from the bottom up, we have Death Stranding, No More Heroes, Tales of Vesperia, and then Life is Strange Season 2, with Kingdom Hearts 3 at the tippity top.
I mean, did anyone expect otherwise?
No, they did not.
I'm curious of, just when I'm done and set this in, I'm gonna look up what I had.
Yeah,
just
to see how close it is.
Yeah. Not all these games were on there because I pretty much just used the list
to see if your heart right now matches with your head thinking it out. Then. Yeah.
Well, again, it's just gonna be like only 5 of these games are on the same list.
Okay.
So it's just to see if that order's the same. I'm going to go with next Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay.
Because it's kind of weird. Like me and you both really like the trailer. We're very interested to see, but there's still that mystery of like how is the story going to be better?
Yeah, and it's still
are they tricking us? Is it going to be minimum waifus?
And it always could. Like, I really, Fire Emblem, as much as, like, I'm so hyped for it and everything, there is still, like, it's not a surefire bet. It's not a sure bet. There still could be.
Life is Strange 2 is probably more of a surefire bet, but my desire for Fire Emblem from what we've seen.
Like, if it is everything they showed there, then that's one of the games I would probably desire the absolute most.
Yeah. Okay, next one ahead of Fire Emblem, Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Okay.
Very excited for it, but
I mean, it's pretty high. It's
pretty high. But as far as the rest of these games, I think the fact that I'm planning on pushing it back for 2 of these games are gonna be high on it because they're coming out the same month is kind of telling right there.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. It's kind of on the back.
But I am very excited for it. I selfishly I kind of selfishly wish it was coming out later. Just mainly because it doesn't matter when I'm going to play it. It won't. I mean, that doesn't affect when I'm going to play it because it's going to happen like after probably Spider-Man or Dragon Quest or even before because it's going to be on Switch. But I feel like it might do better if it was a little later.
I agree.
Because while I know the whole thing, Red Dead, the games that are coming out in September are going to affect its sales more than Red Dead.
I agree with that. I mean, people don't talk about. I mean, people just, it's easy to just go to Red Dead, but I don't think that works for Call of Duty and stuff like that. But I don't think. Yeah, I think Valkyria.
Dragon Quest 11 probably hurts it more than Red Dead.
I mean, if I'm Valkyria Chronicles 4, I would rather release the same day as Red Dead than probably release next to Dragon Quest and next to all the different games.
Again, that's one of those things that I think a good conversation. I think people are overhyping how dangerous Red Dead is for games.
Well, and at least, like, I mean, people could go in there, like, a decent amount of people could go in there and buy, like, Red Dead and Valkyria Chronicles. Yeah. But in September, are they going to go in there and buy Spider-Man, Tomb Raider, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Valkyria Chronicles, Life is Strange. It's like at some point, just the volume of games is going to drown it out more than anything else. Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, okay, just so people know, we got Last of Us Part 2, Spoilerman, Smash, and we have that there Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest 11. Just some of the Spider-Man Dragon Quests, they're like, you can almost taste them, Jeff. It's mere weeks away.
People are been playing. Yeah, I think it's Andy and Brandon played Spider-Man this past week. I think it was.
It's not pretty much done.
Yeah.
Probably about to go gold.
Okay. I think I kind of have it here. Okay, I'll go back from the top now.
Okay.
Because it's pretty much has been. I mean, this just makes sense. I was trying to think about it for one game, but let's see. Okay, so Dragon Quest 11 as my number 2. It's last year when we did what games we were looking forward to the most. Dragon Quest was my number 2.
Yeah. I think it was
and now that Kingdom Hearts was moved to 2019, Dragon Quest is by default, because it really hasn't changed at all, the game I'm looking forward to the most, because it has everything I want out of a traditional JRPG, but I think doing the stuff to improve on it, like doing the quality of life changes, and the fact we don't get these kind of games as much,
and the nostalgia factor of it is Dragon Quest, and it is like this art style and everything, and it's something that you haven't really experienced in the true way you want since the freaking GameCube.
Yep, or PS2. Same generation.
Yeah.
And the fact even though I enjoy these games, it's nice having JRPG with character designs that aren't waifu bait. That's true. Now it's kind of like you said, Darby, because it's so close. It's right there, and I've been
Spider-Man for number 3.
And I've been reading more Marvel comics recently because I got Marvel Infinite, and it's just getting me more excited.
That's all. No, that's all.
Yeah, and just
that's part of the desire.
It's kind of a discussion I want to have. It wouldn't be in the game podcast. It's like saying, in a way, this is kind of a year of Spider-Man, just because his prominence in the Infinity War movie, the game, that animated movie we're getting, and just Spider-Man and
I would agree with that, because like at least in like the most popular culture, like he obviously never went away completely, but like in big popular culture, because of like the Sony deal and everything and him not being in the MCU, I feel like there was a long time there where Spider-Man was not dead, but it was like nowhere near the like relevance that he once was at, and he's like always been my favorite superhero, so that was sad. But it just seems like after Homecoming, we've just been off to the races for Spider-Man. And I agree that this year is like the culmination of that. It's like
we're getting Homecoming 2
we're getting like a respectable video game. He's like the first one. We've got them before, but it's like this is like a meaty thing. It's exactly what you would want. Let this amazing developer do their own thing. Yeah, I agree. Now, year of Spider-Man. Jeff has decreed.
Yep. Now we're stuck between Smash and Last of Us Part 2.
Very interested to see this
yeah.
Split. And this is vying for the 4th and 5th spot.
Yes. I'm just gonna go ahead and straight out. If Last of Us was anywhere close, it'd be no question Last of Us would be higher.
Okay.
I mean, let's just be honest right here.
I mean, that would be for me. I don't know about you, Jeff.
Yeah. But it is so far away, and we haven't seen much. Not that I need to see a crazy amount, but you know.
I'm about to say I don't really want to see anything more, but. But that's me, Jeff. This is you.
Okay. Put Last of Us at 4.
Oh, okay. The twist. He actually put Last of Us above it.
Yeah. I felt like I may have put Smash above it. I don't know. But on the other one, let's...
You just made it sound like you were about to do Smash, but the twist. All right, Jeff. You have made the list.
Yeah.
All right, is this your final list? I think it needs to be. Any last minute changes? If not, then let's read the list. I think it's respectful.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go with Last of Us or Smash because when I did Last of Us, when we did our top whatever list, Last of Us number 4 game of all time. This is the sequel. I have I'm loving everything I'm seeing from the story to the gameplay thing.
This might be like the better version of one of your top 3 games of all time. Like, it might be like
top 4. I think it was like my fourth. It could be a top 5 game of all time. Easy,
yeah. Just slots right in.
Yeah. So Smash Bros. Ultimate, I love it. I think above Last of Us, it's probably a guaranteed a top spot, like in my top 10 of all time. It's probably just going to replace Wii U.
Probably, yeah.
But it is a thing of, and weird that I'm the guy saying this, it's not like it's doing, from what we've seen right now, it's not doing crazy stuff new as far as the gameplay stuff. It is bringing back every stage, every character, which is hype. But
it's what I want, but this is desire. This is not necessarily like, the best game or what they're doing or whatever. This is what I want from Smash Bros, but a new Last of Us and just seeing like what they're doing with that story.
Now
I desire that.
Now, said potentially if we only know about the multiplayer thing to a point. They could announce a bunch of other crazy stuff for Smash, like for single player and other modes.
Could.
Never know.
Just know. All right, Jeff. So Jeff has made his desiring this. I don't know if we should call it the same thing Easy Allies does, but it's too late at this point. This is Jeff's Easy Allies
list of desires.
Easy Allies TM list of desires. Yep. Jeff, let's read it off.
Number 1, Kingdom Hearts 3.
It was never going to be.
If you see my early reaction video,
Yes, which definitely go check that out. It's on YouTube.
Again, it's been the game I'm looking forward to the most. More than took a break from that spot for Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
Right.
But it's just been consistently the thing I've been looking forward to.
Absolutely.
I hurt my hand for a world announcement. So, Dragon Quest XI, it in a different way. That's kind of the game I've been waiting for since the PS2 era. Just
didn't know it was gonna come.
Yeah, just another console Dragon Quest game, and I have no problems the way it looks. The only problem is the whole music thing, but.
Is it just a different composer or something?
No, it's the same composer, but it's... What's the way you say? Meaty? The music is not the whole orchestra thing, because I guess I'll just go ahead and let you know what this is people now. And some people are not buying it for this reason, because of the music. It doesn't bother me as much, because I hardly notice music in games anyway.
Why did they do that?
Because the composer is not the best person. For a lot of reasons, but as far as the music goes, it's because he wants to make money on concerts and CDs selling the orchestra versions. So if he puts it in the game, people are less likely to do that.
That is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But it's true. And because he owns the rights to the music, Square Enix can't put it in without his say.
Just go get a different composer. Screw that guy.
It's one of those things. It's Japanese culture because he's such a big name and all that stuff.
Did he make the MIDI version? Like, is it bad?
It's not great. And to some people, it's like they won't buy the game because of it.
I mean,
because it's so unlistenable.
I wouldn't buy the game, but I mean, like, especially for JRPGs, music is very important to me. I mean, I'm not playing this game anyway, so it's not my deal. But that sounds terrible.
No, and he has questionable political views. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
Okay. So again, unless it's really bad or anything, it won't bother me.
I mean, yeah, but
I'm the last person who notices music in video games.
Still,
it's a problem.
That's like worse than loot boxes.
Yeah.
It's like it exists, but you just that's bad.
Number 3, Spider-Man. A lot has to do it's a Spider-Man game. It's pretty much take the Spider-Man game I want out of my head
and put it
on the screen. It comes out 40 days, pretty much.
So close.
So that's very exciting. And last trailer the next Comic-Con was hype, just announcing a new character. It's little short things, small story stuff, hype. Last Part 2, again, fall up to one of my top games of all time. I like what the story stuff we've seen so far, what they're doing with Ellie. The gameplay stuff they showed at E3, impressive. It gets more excited. But we gotta see more of it and hope that's not just a demo thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But
I'll love it regardless, unless they really mess up the story.
Yeah.
Number 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's what we wanted from Smash.
It is the ultimate Smash.
But it can only go up at this point. Nothing they can really do at this point can make us.
Nope.
Disappointed.
They could drop this game and I would be happy. So everything's gravy. It's God, so ready for it.
The Kira Chronicles 4. I love the gameplay from Valkyria Chronicles 1. It's going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
I can play this thing on my Switch.
From what I've seen, it's not really like moody teenagers or whatever like Valkyria Chronicles got to be, right?
Yes, that's it's taking this place in the same war as 1. Yes. Very exciting. And yeah, again, on my Switch.
On this one. That's the biggest thing.
I'm probably...
Perfect game.
I'm probably just because like Dragon Quest and Spider-Man just going to wait and see how that runs. But that's the version I'm going for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like such a great Switch game.
Fire Emblem Three Houses at number 7. Again, very excited for this. Love Fire Emblem. Indeed. This seems like doing what I want and looks like taking advantage of... It can do better visually, but as far as like gameplay stuff and just some visual stuff, it's taking advantage of the extra power for the Switch a little more.
And at the very least, it is like I feel like the Fire Emblem franchise got too comfortable.
Yeah.
Of just kind of like making their style of game. This really looks like someone like took a good hard look at Fire Emblem and it's like, let's challenge the things we've been doing. Let's challenge our like combat system. What would we do if we're kind of rebooting Fire Emblem almost? Like, you know, it seems like Fire Emblem stepping out of its comfort zone and like becoming something different.
The character designs are making me happier than they have the last couple games.
Yep.
So that's a big thing. Life is Strange Season 2. Very excited. Love Life is Strange.
It's like, it has the potential to be phenomenal. It's just we don't know anything.
Yeah, it could be a top 5 game this year easy. Well, it probably won't be out this year, so maybe not, but completely out. But
yeah,
that's also in September. Wait, sorry, just real quick.
So close. Yeah, so many.
4 of these games are coming out in September.
September is going to be a busy time for our podcast, for sure.
Yeah, what sucks is the week of Dragon Quest and Spider-Man coming out, I'm gone.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do something else for that week. Get someone else.
The Darby cast.
Yeah. Okay, then Tales of Vesperia, one of my favorite top 10 games of all time, being the remaster or whatever, the complete edition. Maybe not remaster.
Playing it with me.
Yep, playing it with Darby, and what the benefit... Yeah, more incentive for me to replay it again, other than playing it with you, of course, is... that new characters, new quests, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's great. And on Switch.
On the Switch.
Definitely getting that version.
So glad that's day one and not like some BS 5 months later.
Ways to find the release date, figure out the release date for that. Yeah. Probably be the November, December single player game.
That's what I would say.
No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again. Or the other way around, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I didn't even... all these I had the names for. That was No More Heroes.
Excited for more No More Heroes. It's going to be a different kind of game, but I trust Suda doing something just kind of weird and fun.
Yes.
It's going to be a smaller thing, and I want to support it because I want more No More Heroes stuff, and it looks fun. It's like it'll be goofy fun. And Death Stranding... What is Death Stranding?
What is Death Stranding? It's a very good question.
What else can I say? Now, before we go, let's see how this compares to the...
All right, let's do that, and then we'll sign off.
I think it's mainly going to be these 5 are the only ones that are on it. So
okay.
And these are probably my top 5, just maybe in a different order.
I can't think of any. All right, let's see.
Let's see.
I'd be interested to see mine. I have not given mine any thought. I just wanted to spur this on you. I hope this was enjoyable.
It was.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Oh, there was a little shakeup. My number 1 was Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
My number 2 was Dragon Quest.
Okay.
My number 3 was Last of Us.
Ah.
My number 4 was Smash. My number 5 was Spider-Man.
So all those last 3 were different.
Yeah, or the only difference was this was there and those scooted up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Spider-Man was at 5. So I guess admittedly, this was a
Getting
couple weeks
closer
ago.
to it. I mean, again, it's the desire. Like it's like comes out that's
it's
the
closer. I've been consuming a little more Spider-Man comics and everything, and seeing the Comic-Con trailer and just hearing a little more gameplay impressions.
Yeah.
Like,
see how things can change whenever. All right.
So exciting. So part of me's happy that at least the Last of Us Smash Bros. Thing was consistent.
Yeah. No, I like seeing that. I like seeing that it changed. I'm glad you didn't get to look at that. This is why I wanted to kind of spur this on you. I didn't want you to think about this too much.
Fun.
All right, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this whole podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. Definitely check out all of our other stuff. We're still doing the Pokemon Nuzlocke, and there's been a rule change that I'm very excited about.
Looking forward, I'm like, we're gonna die.
Should I just say what the rule change is, or should I make people watch?
I guess you can go watch it.
Just go watch. At the end of this video, you'll see what we're changing something in the rules that's going to make it a lot more interesting, a lot more hard, and people are going to start dying left and right, and it's going to be exciting.
What if no one dies? Like,
then we're just really good, and then I'll be very, very glad that you and Alex are very good.
What do you mean me and Alex? I'm joking.
Alex makes a lot of decisions, and I'm okay with making no decisions because I do literally everything else as far as putting the show up and editing and everything else. So I'm okay with not being one of the decision makers because I was up till 1 a.m. last night. So check that out. Check out all of our other YouTube stuff, and we'll be back next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.